Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Diaries of an Engineer Dad. I'm Luther. Today we're going to insulate that garage door. I bought an insulation kit. I'll tell you the one that I got, and I'll tell you why I got that one. But we're going to put it on. We're going to see how it works. The other night I came out here, it was about 6:30 at night. The garage was probably about 95 degrees. That garage door, when I put my thermometer on it, was 115. This wall over here, which is my outside wall, it was 100 degrees on that wall. And then my inside wall, which is this side, was somewhere around, if I remember right, it was somewhere around 90 or 95 degrees, which was just absolutely insane. So I know it's all coming from that. It also doesn't help that I have that V8 monster that I park in here, and that creates a bunch of heat too. So what I have here, I have the US Energy Products kit. Bought this off of Amazon. It's basically rolls of foam insulation. Comes with everything you need to install it. I have a roll of came with this nice roll of double-sided tape, box cutter, squeegee to flatten stuff out. So I'm going to try a couple of things. Watched a couple of videos. I watched a couple of guys do this, and it seemed like in a couple of those videos they really kind of they struggled with this particular kit. I looked at the kits where you buy the panels and you stick the panels in here, and they're more solid panels. Honestly, the R value of those panels though wasn't all that great. This is supposed to be an R8 kit, so if you don't know what that means, it's the R value is its resistance to transmit heat. In layman's term, it's a little more. It's not really any more technical than that, but that's a layman's term of what it means. So what they want you to do with this particular kit is you clean these edges here, this one and this one, and the insulation actually, you put the double-sided tape here, and the insulation actually fits over the outside of this, creating, basically creating an air gap situation here. I saw a couple of videos where a couple of guys did this. They had problems with it coming off and coming loose. What I'm going to do, it doesn't tell you to do this, but I'm going to put a little extra. I'm going to put some double-sided tape here on the vertical bars. And what I may also do, I saw one guy do this, and his insulation looked really, really clean. And so I might do it too. It's going to take a little more time to do it. But he actually loosened these hinges. Just pulled them up, laid the insulation underneath it, set these back down, and that provided for him some additional staying power of that insulation on the garage door. So I'm going to get this clean. I'll probably record putting one of these panels up. You don't want to watch me do all of them because that'll be boring. And then I'll kind of maybe, I don't know, maybe after I get one or two up, we'll come back, we'll talk. And I'll tell you what I decided to do from the standpoint of, am I taking the hinges loose? Am I not taking the hinges loose? Am I just going to trim around it? Whatever. But we'll see how it goes. One of the things that I do want to definitely do is when I'm done with this video, I'm going to want to do a follow-up. I'm going to want to check in. I'm going to want to let you know how this did. Did it cool the garage? Did it keep the heat on the door? Did it keep the heat down? Did it keep the heat down on this outside wall? Those are things that I want you to get from this, aside from my installation technique of doing this, which I don't claim to be an expert at this. I am a perfectionist. I want it to be done well, and I want it to look good when it's done, and I want it to stay there, blah, 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 all that stuff. So anyway, that said, probably what I'm going to do, they want you to clean these things, so I'm going to get some rubbing alcohol, just so that I get grease and all the grime and stuff off of this. Probably take a microfiber towel, clean this off. Maybe I'll record that. Maybe I'll show you doing that. I don't know. Maybe not. But then we'll double-side tape this guy, and then we'll stick this panel up, and we'll see how it goes. Okay? Be right back. Alright, so I told you I was going to clean this up. I'll let you watch, whatever. Just rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, microfiber towel. We're going to go over here, we're going to clean this up and get it so this double-sided tape will stick to it. I'm using rubbing alcohol just because it dries clean, it dries quickly, it's not going to leave any residue on here. So basically I should have a really clean surface for that double-sided tape to stick to, and hopefully we won't have the problems of that some of the other people have had of it coming loose and coming off. So that said, I told you I'd tell you why I picked this one. I talked about it a little bit before, but the insulation value, the R value of some of the other kits just wasn't where I wanted it to be. I know how hot this garage gets, so I really wanted to turn this a little bit. Really wanted to cool this garage down in the summertime because it gets ridiculously hot out here. And then again, you know, keep it warm in the winter because I have a bonus room right above this room, and that room is cold in the winter and it's hot in the summer, and it gets some of its heat from this garage, obviously, because heat rises. So we're gonna get this thing insulated, and hopefully I'll cut down on some of the heating and cooling load in this house. So we shall see. Get it good and clean. This bottom panel's dirty because all the spiders and critters like to make their homes in it. So clean. Alright, so now we will let's double-sided tape this thing. So it's dry. Yep, perfect. So we're going to take this stuff, and one of the things that you want to do with this, from some of the other videos that I've seen, you want to be really careful. You want to be careful to get this. You don't want it to go over this gap, so you want to keep it below the gap. Another trick, we'll see if I master it as well as some others did. Another trick that I saw people do was trying to trim this, and a lot of people were. Several people were trying to trim it on top and bottom. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to try to take, because you're going to see the top edge of this as you're, this one will be a little bit different, but normally you're going to see the top edge of this because you're going to be looking down on it. So I'm going to put the factory edge at the top all the time. So when I do the next panel, the bottom panel is going to hang down, and what I plan to do is take this box cutter and just slide it in that gap and just run this along that gap and hopefully get a nice clean cut. So we'll see if I can execute that as well as I talk. So tape. So let's check this stuff out. So as this is double-sided tape, you have, here, check this out. So you get two layers of this. You have the yellow layer, which is protecting a double-sided layer, and then you have that white layer, which is your sticky layer. So we're going to get both of those. We're going to place that on that edge and line it up as well as we can and stick some insulation to it. So maybe I'll drop this door just a little bit. Oh, that's a little bit better. Now I'm not reaching over my head to put this tape on. Alright, so, brake blade. Be sure and get this stuff started straight, because if you don't get it started straight, then it's not gonna stay straight, and you're gonna walk it all over this edge. And it might actually even help if you go long and get it all the way out there. See, I overlapped it, so let's fix that real quick. And voila. And trim this. If I can find what I did with my wrist blade. It's kind of cool that that the company that packaged this up, I think it's just a guy. I mean, I guess he's got his own business. It gives you everything you need to do all this stuff. So, all right, we got one on. You don't need to watch me do the rest of it. I'll come back and you can watch me put the panel on. All right, so I'm back. I got all my double-sided tape on. One of the things that I would probably recommend that you do is, mine was longer than this lip of the door. Wrap it around. Don't give it a chance to peel off. If you go over the top edge, wrap it around the top edge and make sure that it makes contact all the way around. I used a little squeegee thing. I think the double-sided backing is actually coming loose a little bit here, which is fine because we're going to take it off here in a minute. But see, I got it on the verticals. I got it all the way across the bottom, and I went long across the bottom too. I just didn't even cut it. So what I am going to do, I'm pretty sure I'm going to take, pieces like this off one at a time. I'm going to lift these up and slide the insulation under it and tack it down. I think it's just going to make it's just going to make a cleaner insulation. I also saw guys in some of the other videos, and I'm not saying this is wrong, but from an insulation perspective, I'm an engineer. So from an insulation perspective, to get the best insulation, I'm going to go all the way to this edge with it. It's long enough to do it. I've measured the door, I've measured the insulation, but I'm going to go all the way to this edge. That way I'm insulating this too and keeping all the heat back behind that insulation. I saw a lot of guys stop at this edge. And then basically you've just created an air gap for that stuff to heat this up and then radiate back in. So I'm going to go all the way to the edge with that stuff. Make sure that it gets good and insulated. So let me get this panel up. I don't know how easy it's going to be. Maybe I'll turn the camera on and let you watch me struggle with it for a little while. And then I may turn it off. So we'll see. All right, I'll be back. So I'm not going to lie. Hanging garage door insulation with double-sided tape seems a little bit of redneck. We are in East Tennessee, so we'll run with it. I am going to put the factory edge at the top here because I want that clean edge to be seen up here. The other one, when I put it up there on the next panel, it's going to overlap this one, which is fine. I'll cut it, trim it, but at least I should have a nice clean edge right there at the top. So hopefully that'll work out the way I want it to, and we'll be in good shape. So. And I probably am going to pull the hinges and lay them back down. I probably won't show doing that, but I'm going to get this panel up and we'll see how it goes. So one of the things that you probably want to do when you're doing this, you're going to want to keep the panel clean. Make sure, don't touch your double-sided tape with your hands. You'll get oils and grease and dirt and all that crap on it, and then your stuff won't stick. So I'm going to get this thing up, and we'll come back and I'll show you a little bit of it. All right. So I'm not gonna lie, getting this up there is a little bit tricky. The insulation wants to waffle a little bit as you're trying to get it into there. But check this out. I did lift that hinge and put it back down. That looks so much better than some of the other ideas that I saw. And I'm not saying they're wrong. It depends on how much time and effort you want to put into this. Sorry, my camera angle is a little wonky. Let's fix it. I choose this look. So nice thing is, you get that in there, You just punch a hole in it. Put my bolts right back in the screw holes, and we'll just keep going. I'll take that one down and we'll work all the way across. Panel number 1 is done. So let me show you what I did, okay? Obviously, I undid the hinges and slapped the hinges back down on there. I really wanted to have the extra staying power to hold this thing on there when the garage door is up. So let me show you what I did here on the end. I'm gonna flip the camera real quick. Be careful taking these outside pieces off, because the door will have a tendency to walk and bow. This thing popped up and out as soon as I released the pressure off of this guy. So you'll have to work with it to get it back down. What I attempted to do here was, instead of, I don't know if you remember this bracket or not, but it's got 3 bolts on it. You can see the heads right there. I didn't want to take this whole piece off just because I didn't think it was worth it. So I took a screw out, ran a screw back in. I probably need to tighten it a little bit more. You'll see what happened on the other side. But this guy, I took a razor blade and I cut it right along the top of that and split it. And I took the top underneath here and the bottom underneath here, put a piece of double-sided tape just to hold it. And I think it came out pretty well. I took this piece off, all the hinges. You can see I got a nice straight edge up here at the top. I got that factory edge. Again, be careful taking these out, because this door wanted to walk and move. And again, over here, I tried to do the same thing. The bolt went through the insulation, so I'm just not overly upset about that. I still think the installation looks pretty good the way it is. And then to get the bottom, I just walked outside, and on the outside, you can see it's beveled here. I walked outside and just took my razor blade and an edge and just walked right along that ceiling edge on the bottom of it. Made a nice clean cut across the bottom. And yes, it's probably just a little bit long, but you know what? That's just going to help with the insulation value and keeping the heat out, heating the cold out during the various seasons. So I think this panel turned out really well. I'm gonna hit the other panels, and I'll report back when I've got more to show you. Okay, see ya.